doing something completely different. It's really cold outside today, raining, wet, and it's a holiday season, and it's really nice to be grounded at home and do something else, especially for this holiday season. You know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's just such a great time of the year, and all I really want to do is bake and cook. So I'm actually going to bake today. I hope this is not a problem. I'm going to break away from the garden a little bit. You know, this time of the year, there's not a lot to do in the garden. I've been working, even though day before yesterday was really good weather. So I end up going and clearing out my entire flower bed. It looks really great. I cut down the things that needed to be trimmed and cleaned and, fertilized and a whole bunch of stuff. And I also have been planting lots of pansies. Finished planting my tulips. I have one more bag that I had to plant just, near our front door. But other than that, everything is planted. I'm really hoping to get some pansies, maybe just plant over the tulips. In the spring would be really colorful and fill in a little bit. But we'll see if I get to that or not, and my budget will allow it or not, but we'll see. And anyway, today I just wanted to bake something, and I thought maybe, it will inspire some of you guys, because this time of the year, it's like with being such a cozy time of the year, I kind of wanted to have a nice baking aroma around the house, and it's just really nice, and we are really foodie people, so we love to eat, and and I love to cook, and so I thought this might help, give you an idea to make something at your house that your family will love. So I'm going to bake a Hungarian coffee cake today. This is a coffee cake that I always make. All my friends love it, and I love entertaining. So when I have friends for coffee, this is my to-go recipe. Really, I modify this recipe a little bit, but this is a recipe that handed over to me long time ago from by a very good friend of mine when I was new to the U.S. and I was making friends. It's always kind of special recipe to me because where it came from at the time, etc. So I love making this recipe, and so we'll just go ahead and get this started. So first what I'd like to do, and I'm going to refer to my recipe. I'm sorry because I don't know all by heart, but I did preps ahead of time, so it's kind of easier for you to follow. So first, what we have to do is go ahead and start our oven. Heat our oven 350 in U.S. Temperature, and in France, where I am, European, it's going to be 180. So, I forgot to remove my pen actually. Let me just put this here for now. So, anyway, I need to put my glasses on. So anyway, I'm going to heat our oven for 180 degrees. I'm pretty sure. Just want to double check that really quick. No, I'm sorry, 375. So I'm just going to do that. So 375 degrees, and we'll just let this cook. Let this heat up. For our pan, I'm just going to make it in my little bundt cake. And this is my small kitchen. It's not, huge, but our house is kind of big, but our kitchen is small. We are planning on hopefully in one point enlarging a little bit, but that's down the road. I still love cooking here, so I'm hoping that that's not a problem. Anyway, I have a little butter here that I softened. It's I can touch it, you can see it's room temperature. It's been out for a while. So what I'm going to do is cream my pan really well. You can, if you're in the US, I can't find my cooking sprays here in France, so this is the method that I use here, and it works really good. You can use this in the US as well, or you can use non-stick sprays and kind of sprinkle flour on it, which is my other step that I'll show you how to do. So that works really well too. Like I said, I can't find cooking spray here, so this is the method that I use in France. Anyway, so I'll just take a little bit of a butter, just like that with my hands, and I will just go ahead and try it and spread them really well all around the pan. Okay guys, so you can see I applied butter really, really well, and make sure to go all through the cracks, because that's where it's more likely the dough is going to stick. So make sure every bit is covered with the butter really, really well, just like that. At this point, what I will do now is apply some flour, and you know, there are different kinds of flour in France, in US as well, I'm sure, and you know, I use really good quality flour for my baking, but I have one here that is, you know, it's a good flour. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not. I don't prefer it to cook with it, but I have it for other purposes. So I'm going to just sprinkle just a little bit and into the pan like that. So I won't use my best one, and I'm just going to go in a circle, try to make sure the flour coats the pan really well, and then try to take the excess flour out of the pan. So. Okay, so I think this looks really good. As you can see, the flour coated the pan really, really well to make sure that, you know, our coffee cake doesn't stick to it when it's time to take it out. So I have our pan ready, and I'm going to put this aside until I'm ready to fill this, okay? So I just have to wipe this really quick. Okay, so this part is done. Now what we are going to do, I have some ingredients here which we are going to put through my food processor. I have brown sugar, some cocoa powder, cinnamon, and walnuts, but I'm going to do something else with walnuts, but I will show you that. And so cinnamon, and I am also adding some cardamom. I really, really like the taste of cardamom. It doesn't require that in my recipe, but I love adding. And as you can see, I am modifying a little bit, and I'll explain. I will post this recipe online so you guys can follow. You can try it if you decide to. But anyway, a couple of things that I'm modifying. This is one of them. I'm going to add some cardamom as my spice because I really love the taste. So normally what I do, I put all of this in a food processor and put that aside, but including the walnuts. But and that's how I've always done it. But this time I'm trying to do something different with it. I'm hoping that it's going to turn out even better, because growing up in Armenia, we used lots of walnuts in our cooking, and I love using nuts in my cooking. And so when I put the walnuts in a food processor, it makes it really fine, and you can taste it, but it's because it does have that nutty flavor, but it's very fine. This time what I'm going to do is just crush it and then mix with it, because I feel like maybe having a little bit of a chunkiness of the walnut, it would give a good crunch. So I'm going to try it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I think I'm going to give it a try and see. So here it is. I have walnut here, which I'm going to I'll show you how I usually smash it, but I like it this way. So I'm using 1 cup of walnut. Okay, just do a couple of extras. Okay, so 1 cup of walnut. I have a plastic bag right here. This is how I crush my walnuts usually for the cakes or any other cookings. It depends what I'm making, but I like it this way because it doesn't get very fine. It still has a little bit of an unevenness, which I think it gives a bit of a better texture to when I use them in a cooking. So this, sorry for the noise, but this is how I do it. Okay, so this is the texture that I'm going to use this time, because you can see it's kind of uneven, but kind of even in a way, and it leaves a little bit of a chunkiness to it. I really like that, so it doesn't get crushed. So what I'm going to do is mix this in this bowl right here. Okay. So then, let's see if I have 3/4 cup. I might use a different one, would be easiest. So I'm using 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And you can use light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. I don't believe it's specified in the recipe. Oh, it says dark brown sugar. So it's a dark brown sugar. I don't think we have both varieties here. I haven't seen them anyways in France, so I'm using what I have. And I think this is a medium one. It's not dark, it's not light. So maybe it is a little lighter, but it works well. Oops. Okay, so this goes into our food processor. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of unsalted cocoa powder. This is the kind that I use in France. It's really, really good. When I used to live in the US, I used to get them from the Sprouts. Used to love that store, and they have really good cocoa powder. It is really important to use good ingredients, because when you use good ingredients, you always get really good results. So here, this one is a little chunky. So 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. And cinnamon is 1 tablespoon as well. And then cardamom, I don't have particular, I just use maybe 1 teaspoon of cardamom. Cardamom has really strong taste, so I don't think it's necessary to do a lot, but it has a really great taste. I really like it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of mix this really well together. Okay. Let's So there is the consistency. It's just a few seconds. And look at this consistency. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And I wish you could smell it because it smells amazing. So I'm going to add this to my walnut mixture. So I will mix this with my walnuts. As you can see, my walnuts are a little chunkier, but you can also again use the walnuts in the food processor along with the rest of the ingredients, and then you'll just have a very fine mixture of everything. But this time I'm going to try with the chunky a little bit and see how it would turn out. It's always about trying different things and experimenting to see, if it doesn't turn out that good, next time I won't do it. but this time I'm just too curious. Okay, so we set this aside for now. Okay, so now we are making actual batter. So here in a separate bowl, I combined I believe it's 3 cups of flour. Let me double check that. Yes, so 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda, and a little pinch of salt. So I've mixed this mixture, dry ingredients together already separately. I'm going to take out my sour cream. And my cream I'll take out later. Okay, so I have my sour cream here. So now with my mixer, I'm going to beat my 3/4 cup of butter along with 1.5 cup of sugar. Okay. Okay, so we creamed the butter and the sugar together. It looks about like that. It looks like that. As you can see, it looks really nice. And now we are going to add 3 eggs, room temperatured, 1 at a time. Double check that, but pretty sure. Okay, actually I needed to add the vanilla. So cream the butter and sugar, add the vanilla first. I have here sucré vanille in France here. I kind of prefer this one. I think it has better flavor, to be honest, than the liquid ones. But you can use the liquid one as well. That will be in a recipe when I post my recipe online. But this is what I use here. And I will use 1 package. And it smells great already. Okay, just beat that again. Okay, now we are going to add the eggs one at a time. As you can see, my eggshell pile right here. I collect my eggs, and we have lots of slugs here, you guys, because our winters are very very rainy and wet, and I use eggshells a lot to prevent them from eating my flowers. So I collect all my eggshells. Okay, and one other modification that I do is I add orange zest to it, just because I love orange zest. You can also add lemon zest if you like, but that just gives that really beautiful aroma of citrusy, and it definitely makes a big difference. I would highly recommend that. I really like that. And if you don't like it, just don't use it. It's all about, baking and cooking. It's all about what you like, and to modify things to your taste. So anything that suits you and your family loves. So. Okay, I think this is enough. Got quite a bit. Okay. Just mix one more time. Orange zest already smells amazing. So at this point, we are going to add my mixed dry ingredients, alternating with sour cream, starting and ending with our dry ingredients. So. Just double check the recipe. Okay, yep. Okay, so we'll start a little bit of a flour mixture. I need one more spoon. When you apply the flour, make sure to mix them really good before you start the mixer, otherwise it will be snow everywhere. more sour cream. Okay, so we alternated sour cream and our dry ingredients, starting with dry ingredients, finishing with our dry ingredients. We are finished, so I'm going to scrape the bowl really, really well and mix it one more time, really good. I miss my KitchenAid mixer. I used to have it in the US, but I haven't had opportunity to buy one yet here in France. But eventually I will. Definitely miss that a lot. Okay, so just mix it one more time really well. And you can see the consistency of our dough. It's looking really good. Look at that. Looks really good. So here we go. We finished this part of that. Now we are going to assemble in our bundt cake and our bundt cake pan, and it will go into the oven. Here we go. I'm going to use my spoon. Okay. So remember this walnut mixture that we blended together before. So we're going to use that in our bun and our dough. So take our pan. I think we start with butter and mixture. Okay, it doesn't specify how. So, oops. Okay, so we are going to start with our butter. I'm going to basically just slowly. Okay, so at this point we are going to sprinkle some of our walnut mixture on top. Okay. Add more. And just go all the way until we are finished. use my finger to get the last bit. Okay, so I end up not using all of it mixture, but just because I think I didn't go a little too aggressive in the beginning of the time. I did go afterwards. You guys could, do a little bit of extra in the beginning of the time, but I can use this for something else, and I think for me this is enough. But right before we bake, I could sprinkle right on top. I'm just going to sprinkle right on top. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to just kind of do like this. I don't know how to say that. Just kind of let it all sit well together. And it will go into the oven for about, for about 50 to 60 minutes. And it will be in the recipe when I attach that. So we'll see how it all comes out. In the meantime, what I do, the recipe requires, or it doesn't require, it's really up to your taste. But you can make glaze to go over it. You can make chocolate. I really like the chocolate, so I usually just make some chocolate with some heavy cream. Just a really simple glaze. And I kind of like that a little better on top. But that's what I'm going to make today. So, okay, guys. So here we are. I just took the coffee cake out of the pan. I still need to wash it, but you can see it came out quite well. The only part, it was stuck just a little bit. It was on the side, but you can see, can't even tell. So it's looking really, really good, and the house smells amazing. I love these days when I cook and all the baking aroma is everywhere. So now what I'm going to do is just make a glaze, just a simple chocolate glaze. Chocolate glazes can be, done different ways, and but for this one I'm just making a very simple one. So I preheated some heavy cream in this bowl, and I don't have a recipe for it. I just kind of eyeballed it a little bit, just, because I don't need a lot. I just need a little bit of a drizzle on top. So I just warmed up some heavy cream, and then what I'm going to do is mix in some milk chocolate and some dark chocolate. So I have both, but you can use the way you like. Some people really don't like the dark chocolate and they like milk chocolate, but I kind of like mixing a little bit. So I'm just going to stir. So I'm just going to let the chocolate soften and see how much we need for this. You have to kind of play with it a little bit. Make sure that you add more chocolate if it's necessary. Kind of eyeball the consistency. So I might have to put it in a microwave just a little longer. We'll see. We'll see how this goes when it's all melted and done. And if it's too runny, then we need to add more chocolate, obviously. if you have a little extra, chocolate glaze, it's okay. I always keep them in a small jar in the refrigerator for next time. Sometimes, I bake other things, and maybe I just need a little bit of a drizzle for decorations or for glaze. So I need a little more chocolate here. You can see, more chocolate you add, it will get thicker and thicker, and that's what we need. It's a little thicker, and sometimes you have to put them in a microwave just a little more to warm up than heavy cream. I think it's starting to look really good. And this is what we need, the consistency. So I like the consistency now. It's good. Maybe just a little more dark chocolate. Okay, I think this is really, really good. There might be a little bit in there, but with making a chocolate glaze, you have to be kind of patient and, just kind of play with it and make sure it melts kind of, and not quick, because it just needs warmth. That's all it needs, not really hot boiling. So here we go. Look at that. It looks really good. And then usually, this is the trick I use for my chocolate glazes. I like using a little bit of a brandy, or in this instance I have cognac. So I just kind of like using a splash of it. It gives really kind of a good aroma to it. This trick is from Armenian cuisine. We love using cognac in our cooking. In France it's cognac. We have a really good brandy in Armenia, and it's kind of popular to use. So I'm going to use it in my chocolate glaze a little bit. It's definitely worthwhile. It tastes very good. Just a splash. Oh, it's really delicious. You can smell it. So mix it really well. Okay. A bit of a spoon and just drizzle over the cake. And just let it kind of run a little bit around the edges. Not a lot, it's just a touch. Okay, and I think this is perfect. So as you can see, I have quite a bit left, and usually, I save little jars. I usually save little jars like this, and that way I can just go ahead and, fill my little jar with this chocolate glaze, and I can keep this in a refrigerator for a while, and that way it's always handy for me when I need to use them. Make sure, not to leave them too long, but it will, you can keep them in the refrigerator for quite some time. So, here we go. Okay. And here you go, guys. But now I need to just cut it so you can see inside. And see how it looks. It looks really good. I wish you could smell it. It smells delicious. Look at that. Not so beautiful. Look at that. It's moist inside. It's a little crispy on the outside, and have a chocolate glaze. And again, I modified the chocolate, but I have a recipe that I'm going to share. It actually includes powdered sugar glaze, and for anyone that likes that type of a glaze, you can use the glaze, and if you don't like that particular powdered sugar type glaze, you can go ahead and use chocolate. Either way, it's delicious, and if you don't want any glaze, you simply just don't have to do glaze. So here it is, guys, and it doesn't take, major trainings or skills to prepare something like this, and sometimes this is too much for us, but it's always nice to have a little piece, I would take to my neighbors and have them enjoy it, after dinner or things like that, and it's always nice. It brings a smile to everybody's face, especially for the holiday season. So, and I have a friend coming in tomorrow for coffee, and this will be a perfect thing to serve with the coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry, this is not a gardening, but it's a nice, touch when, Mother Nature is telling us to stay home and balance our life a little bit. Otherwise, I will be out gardening all the time. So have a wonderful holidays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.